Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story of crafting triumph. And a little bit of crafting, well, let's call it a learning experience. Ever poured hours into a project, only to realize it's not quite right? Yeah, me too. Today's tale is all about a beanie. A beanie that, despite 5 hours of dedicated knitting, ended up being a little too snug. Let's just say it's more appropriate for a small child than my adult head. So, what went wrong? The dreaded gauge. Now, gauge might sound intimidating, but trust me, it's not. It's simply a way of ensuring your project turns out the size you expect. Think of it like a recipe. If you don't use the correct amount of ingredients, the cake won't rise, right? Same idea with knitting. Your gauge is essentially the number of stitches and rows you get per inch or centimeter. If your gauge is off, your finished item will be too big or too small. In my case, it was definitely too small. So, how did I mess up? Well, I got a little too eager to start knitting. I skipped the crucial step of making a gauge swatch. A gauge swatch is a small sample, knitted with the same yarn and needles you'll use for the actual project. You knit a square, measure it, and compare it to the pattern's gauge. If your swatch matches the pattern's gauge, you're good to go. If not, you'll need to adjust your needle size. Now, let's rewind to the moment of truth. I cast on, I knitted. I purled, I followed the pattern diligently, or so I thought. 5 hours later, I had a beautifully knitted beanie. That wouldn't even stretch over my ears. The disappointment was real, folks. But hey, that's crafting, right? We learn from our mistakes, and sometimes, those mistakes lead to the best stories. So, what did I do? I did the only thing a knitter can do. In this situation I frogged it. Frogging, for those unfamiliar, is the process of ripping out your knitting. It's called frogging because you're ripping it, like a frog croaking. It's not always fun, but it's often necessary. So, with a deep breath, I started unraveling the beanie, row by row, stitch by stitch. It's a bit tedious, but it's also strangely satisfying. You get to see all that hard work turned back into a ball of yarn. Ready for a fresh start. And let me tell you, it was a lot of yarn. Once the beanie was completely unraveled, I was left with a pile of yarn and a renewed sense of determination. This time, I wouldn't skip the gauge swatch. I cast on, knitted my little square, measured it, and compared it to the pattern. Turns out, I needed to go down a needle size to get the correct gauge. Lesson learned. Armed with my newfound knowledge, I cast on for the beanie again. This time, with the correct needle size, my gauge was perfect. The beanie fit like a dream. So, the moral of the story? Don't skip the gauge swatch. It might seem like an extra step, but it can save you hours of work and a whole lot of frustration. And hey, if you do end up with a beanie that doesn't fit, at least you'll have a good story to tell, and maybe, just maybe, a tiny beanie for a small friend. Thanks for watching, and happy knitting!